performance that immediately can be remembered, that causes disputes and that arouses bewilderment and delight. A new story based on the old metrics why Mykhailo Gurman did not survive is a modern staging by Ukrainian and German stage directors, according to Ivan Franko's well-known masterpiece Stolen Happiness. Theater is a holiday, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everything good should be shown on the stage. Generally speaking, this theatrical collaboration was very interesting and useful. Although the work was very intense, the actors still did everything right. We do it in a live mode, everything will be fine. Purely from the vantage point of an acting school, it's a great experience for many our actors. Critics call him one of the leading stage newsmakers in Ukraine. Stage director Stanislav Zhurkov presented another successful project, Why Mykhailo Gurman Did Not Survive, in the format of modern theater. This performance is the result of a creative co-production between Ukraine and Germany. Stas Zhurkov staged it in Magdeburg Municipal Theater. It is realistic for a young, creative experimenter to reach out and to capture the hearts of the German audience by focusing on the main challenges that both his native country and foreign countries face today. This play tells about how hell is created on earth, how three people can create hell for themselves and so on, and that war can happen in the blink of an eye when another person suddenly finds himself in your house, and that such a situation can also turn into some kind of war. Stage directors Stas Zhurkov and playwright Pavlo Arye set the task of staging a modern and convincing performance. They radically changed Stolen Happiness by Ivan Franko. They prepared the basis of this performance, which contains fairly controversial stage text that was more profoundly transformed and improved on the stage during Zhurkov's rehearsals in Magdeburg. So what was the end result of the performance of Franko's drama on the stage? So what is left of Franko's play? Well, we left only the storyline, which naturally takes into account Franko's spirit, because in my view, this play is in the classical version. It was my idea to make play for three characters, and Arye supported the idea. He felt that it would be definitely interesting for the German audience. And then we proposed this version to art director of the Magdeburg Theater Cornelia Combolz. The non-linear creative thinking of the stage director pushed him to the notion that Franko's play is based on a feminist story, because the character of Anna, in essence, is viewed as some kind of a commodity that moves from one zone to another. And there you have it. Zhurkov decided to refute the thesis that classics are boring and are in no way whatsoever exciting. I believe that this play is truly a classic because those issues that are raised in the text of the play seem to me very everlasting. Therefore, they are not only contemporary. This is like long-distance running. An interesting feature of this play is that it can be turned and twisted according to one's interpretation of it. So its creators presented events of the classical Ukrainian play in the present time, revealing the drama of the heroes in European reality. It takes place in Germany. The director defines the play genre as a love story from the life of a multicultural Europe. There are three characters in the play: Anna, Mykhailo Gurman, and one of the main characters of the love triangle is a German named Nicholas. And so, today, the relationship drama described by the great writer Ivan Franko in his work written 120 years ago unfolds in this intricate and intriguing love triangle. In our interpretation, Mykhailo goes to war. It is understood war he's currently fighting in. Anna leaves and then receives notification of his death. She suffers from this, and so on, and time passes. Then Nicholas enters her life. In our version of the play, he is Mykola, the German, a handsome young normal guy, and when she sees him, it is truly love at first sight. And suddenly Mykhailo appears. And there I face a question in the play. It looks like, oh my dear, good heavens, my dearly beloved has returned. So I leave Nicholas because I only need and want Mykhailo, and so on. But in this situation, she leaves her drunk father and abandons her miserable Ukrainian village. Meanwhile, Ukraine is totally ravaged by war, and the story goes on.
Примусили, правда? Тебе ж силою в торбу, блядь, запхали! Тебе ж продали і купили!
Apparently, the rehearsal completely absorbed Stanislav and demonstrates his love for the profession. The director brought to the Ukrainian audience an example of successful collaboration with European colleagues and also a bold creative experiment in the world of theater.
Alles okay! Don't worry, Nikolaos! All will be good! Stop! Why we don't make this red one?
The stage designs and all components of the play were intended for the larger stage of the Magdeburg Theatre. To adapt the stage design for chamber space of the Golden Gate Theatre, German technical services had to make significant efforts. German lighting experts and sound engineers who applied modern technical means in their work found Ukrainians to be very practical and amazingly inventive.
Dachten alle so. Und dann holte die Lampe draus.
German technicians are involved in the technical side of the work. They speak German, of course, and English. We have an interpreter, but since they understand English, I can directly speak with them without an interpreter. Stas knows exactly what he wants to see in the end. His pauses were something new for us. He used these pauses especially to share some information with us and his vision with the actors. In short, we had to constantly take pauses, so this process was rather unexpected for us.
Mein Bereich ist die Beleuchtung. Wir haben versucht, mit denen hier
I'm a lighting expert. Here we try to reproduce the light in the theater the way it was at the premiere in our Magdeburg theater. For example, we use over 90 atmospheres and episodes with various handmade lighting in this performance. And for this, we basically need a console to store various settings. This performance includes many moments that require instant changes in lighting and sound effects. Therefore, any error can become immediately visible.
Raum für Fehler. Es gibt Bildwechsel, die innerhalb von 0 Sekunden geschehen sollen.
In addition to common issues, the international performance touches on the topics of immigration, refugees, guest workers, and the homeland. Not only have the time and place of the action changed, but also the direction of feelings and the relationships between characters. Zhukov, together with Aryeh, came up with the idea that after learning about Mykhailo's death, Anna would move to live and work in the prosperous Germany. She suffers right to the bitter end of the story, and today she lives well. But then he comes back, and I have a question. Whom does she love? In our story, she continues to love Nicholas. She doesn't want Mykhailo to return. And this changes the storyline. Then this turns into quite a different story about how someone can enter into our life at any moment and completely turn it upside down and say, "That's it, goodbye." The singularity of this staging is not only in the text written by Pavlo Aryeh, but also in the fact that nearly a third of the play came to life during rehearsals. The final monologues of the characters were written by the actors involved in this, also was the essence of the project, according to the director. It was risky, but we got some drive and excitement from the creative search. The play is saturated with provocative moments. After all, the director very rigidly and honestly designated certain skeletons in the closet. The text has provocative moments for both Germans and Ukrainians. For Germans, this includes the issue of Turks and migrants. These are the issues that concern them most today. What is our position now? You see, we all support Ukraine, we love it, we all are patriots, etc. But we face double standards, and the hero of Mykhailo focuses on it. On the one hand, we move to Europe, and on the other hand, we face scandals with the design of the theater building and prohibitions on repainting the Friendship of Nations arch in rainbow colors. Slogan of the Magdeburg Theater says, "To be honest, one must be intolerant to intolerance." And that's why it is important that we raise the issue. The staging of Stolen Happenings is a classic example of co-productions among different countries and several theaters. 3 actors were involved in the play. Mykola Bereza, who came from the Lviv Kurbas Theatre, Yekaterina Vishneva presented the Kiev Golden Gate Theatre, and Timo Hashtenpflug was from the Magdeburg Municipal Theatre. How was the process of adapting actors of different schools to each other? Acting styles of each actor are different, and you had to work together to achieve the desired result.
We don't know!
These 3 are fantastic actors. Each of them became a discovery for me, and it is really important for me that I managed to make such discoveries. Recently, I have not had such an international format, especially when you appear with an actor from another school, from another country. It was a very interesting experience. But the most useful thing in this project was my work with Ukrainian actors who were very cool and talented. And that was the most interesting experience for me. And in general, this cooperation was very cool. Timo was so open as an actor. He has certain work ethics that, starting from the first rehearsal, I truly felt that I was a part of a great creative and talented team, and that gave me a great satisfaction. I also like to work with director Stas Zhurkov, and the most important thing is that theater is an international language and a great basis. It's a fantastic idea and a very cool concept. Speaking in 2 different languages, even 3 languages, a director from another country, and other interesting elements. In my opinion, this combination seems to work really well. It was a very bold stroke in the storyline. For this reason, it is, in some way, uncompromising. There was no way there could be any half measures.
Und ich will dich damit nicht hineinziehen, bitte! Das ist ja Polizei, die Mafia! Ja, Mafia, die Ukrainer wieder gleich Mafia oder was, ne? Also erstens hat das nichts mit der Mafia zu tun.
How did pragmatic German viewers perceive Ukrainian issues? Did they understand the edge of sensuality and emotional agony shown by Ukrainian actors? As Stanislav Zhurkov said, the whole world consists of clichés. He and the theatrical team tried to insert these clichés into the play. After all, human nature is the same everywhere.
Was macht die Pistole? Boom?
Ну так и...
Boom! Boom! Що таке бум? Was ist Boom?
Бум macht tot.
The German and Ukrainian audiences reacted in different ways, because their forms of thinking are various. But this story touches German viewers, and they understand that probably everything is not so good with them, because they understand that the war is so far not as they thought it would be, and the story reminds them about the truism. And here, war is viewed at various levels: the war between husband and wife in the beginning, the war in the classic love triangle, and finally, the war with another country. The German audience was first to watch this performance. It was also an aspect of a very interesting experience, because Germans are very refined viewers. I lacked, of course, their emotional inclusion. That is what is in our theater. But I like their noble attitude towards the theater.
Оця їхня виставленість і відношення певне, таке дуже благородне до театру.
There was no risk, because German theater is very open. It welcomes co-production. We actively cooperate with different organizations, and our theater is open for different content. The play was shown in the Magdeburg theater, then in the several cities of Ukraine. Kievans have long and eagerly awaited this theatrical novelty at the Golden Gate Theater. The international co-production for Ukrainian theatergoers is interesting and necessary. What exactly attracts the German partner to this co-production? It is a unique experience that you can get only through your work. You learn a lot in this project, you learn to be in dialogue. And this goes from them as well, because there are different cultures, different theater systems, and of course, we represent our country in Germany.
Okay, Anna, second one. Anna, yeah.
Based on his own experience, Stas can tell that Ukrainian culture is interesting to the European community. And not by chance, the next season of the Golden Gate Theater will be fully dedicated to international projects.
Oh no! Next.
We will host 5 stage directors from different countries. It's cool. These 5 people will return to their countries and tell about their work here in Ukraine, and then 5 performances will be shown there. The view of the young stage director inspires optimism and belief in the audience that many theatrical sensations and stunning art discoveries lie ahead.